You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt0Godwin, and I'm very excited about this next guest because this is a topic I'm very interested in. I know nothing about. And a lot of people talk about gut health. This is a term that, I hear all the time, and I get a lot of in my news feed on Facebook, and I think, oh, it's a bunch of malarkey. But then I think, as my tummy grumbles after I eat something, I think maybe I need to pay attention to this. So I have a special guest, Sunny Jain. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
Okay,
you got
great.
It, Mary.
Founder and CEO of Genomics, and you have a product called Floré.
Yes.
And you talk all about microflora, right?
The gut microflora. Yep.
Gut microflora. So this is all new to me, as I just said. I don't know a lot about this. I hear these buzzwords a lot, though, and I'm very interested in it. Whenever I think of something, I hear it 3 times. I think I need to pay attention to this. So I am so happy that you're here to tell us what is going on with gut health.
No problem.
First, tell us about you and how you started this company.
Yeah. So it was 2016, and my son was just born, and about 3 months later, started to have gastrointestinal issues.
As a baby?
As a baby.
You did, okay.
Yeah, not me.
All parents do. I think that's what I'm like.
But I've had my journey as well. But
okay, yeah.
The story began with my son.
Okay.
And we take him to the doctor, and doctor says he's too young for any sort of pharmaceutical treatments. But you could tell he was in noticeable pain, and he would cry almost every time he had a bowel movement. So we were trying to figure out what to do next. Doctor recommended probiotics, and that's where I found myself in the probiotic aisle.
I've heard about probiotics a lot too, and I've had some people tell me definitely look into these, definitely get them, and then I've had other people say I don't need to worry about it. So you're here to tell us that we should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a part of your cellular health in a different way, right? So we have 2 components to our cellular health. Your human self. So some people analyze their own human DNA, maybe a 23andMe test or these ancestry tests. But we haven't really done a lot on analyzing our microbial selves, or the microbe cells that are living in and on our bodies. So there are 30 trillion human cells in your body that make up your body, and there are 39 trillion microbial cells.
Wow.
So you're more microbial than you are human.
Okay, wow.
To a level.
Yeah.
So it's important to begin to understand.
To pay attention, right.
To gut microflora and what impact it's going to have on our gut. And for my son, it was really telling when we analyzed his gut microflora.
So do you have to go to a lab and take a lot of tests, and what was that process like for him?
Fortunately for me, I have a background in molecular medicine.
I was going to ask you what your background was to be able to start this company. Yeah.
Yeah, just sort of lucky, right? I'm a new dad as the #1 thing, and I was motivated to help him. But I happen to have these skills, and so I started testing probiotics in the lab. I started testing his gut flora, and we did a process called whole genome DNA sequencing. A company called Illumina here provides sequencing equipment. We use that sequencing equipment to analyze his gut microflora.
Okay.
And I found this inflammatory microbe that shouldn't be there. And started going down the rabbit hole and reading about it.
So not knowing anything, how did it get there? He was born with that? Did it come, do we know how that happens?
That's such a great question. We don't know yet.
Okay.
But I can tell you now, having the company been around for 6 years, I haven't seen an infant gut profile with that elevated level of that gut microbe since then. And so it was important that we acted, because we don't know what impact it could have had 3 or 4 years later if we hadn't acted. And that organism is a spore former. It's hard to get rid of, and we gave him a custom probiotic, and it decreased the concentration of that inflammatory microbe. Okay,
great. So that was my question, because I want to know about your company, but also the health of your son.
Yeah.
So you gave him, is it liquid form probiotic, or did you have to test a few to figure out which one worked for him?
I didn't test it on him.
But, he's not your guinea pig? No? Okay.
I did have a laboratory, and we started doing things like DNA analysis of the probiotics, gastric survivability, meaning does it survive stomach acid and low pH? Will it get to your intestinal tract where all the gut microbes live? And we found the best strains that you could put together, and I kind of went through and sorted for the best ones that would work against this inflammatory microbe. So this is the beginning stages of precision medicine, or what we consider precision probiotics.
Right. Gosh, my head is going to so many questions that I want to ask you because I feel like there's so many issues. Like I was mentioning, I'll eat something and I don't really pay attention very much. Then I'll be like, oh, there's grumbling happening. And I think, oh, maybe I'm, I need to go gluten-free or something. I just ran, because that's kind of the on-trend thing.
Yeah.
But then I just wonder, there's a lot of things that could be wrong, right? But so your company helps people kind of identify the different things that could be going on, right? Tell me how someone like me, how they could use your company.
Exactly. I mean, the first thing whenever we're trying to manage our own health is to test. So I think that's really important in any sort of change you might make in diet, any change you might make in supplements, any change even in medications, right? You're going to test and then see what you need to do next. So test the gut microflora, figure out what's there. Is there something that's preventing you from digesting carbohydrates as efficiently? Could we elevate those organisms? Would that help?
And is there a difference between, an allergy, if someone's allergic to milk or something, versus what you're talking about?
Yeah, so like if you have a real allergy, that would be like an autoimmune type of condition potentially. Right. So that might not be related to your gut microbes, although a lot of recent science is now implicating gut microbes and autoimmune conditions. So it's fascinating how much the breadth of these microbes actually play in our health. But certainly sensitivities to certain foods and being able to digest through certain foods, we've seen gut microbes play an essential role in that.
And so you guys, I think I saw on your website that you have a test that people can buy. Do they can take it at home on themselves, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly. You just go to Floré.com and we ship you out a test kit. You do a microstool collection at home, send it back to the laboratory. Floré Laboratories kind of handles it from there. So DNA analysis, you get a full nice report on an iOS or Android mobile application, and then there's videos explaining everything. You get to meet with one of our customer care representatives, and then it goes into manufacturing for your custom formula.
That's fascinating. I definitely need to sign up for one of those products. And how prevalent is this, do you think, are issues with microflora?
Well, it's growing in incidence, I think, every year. So American Gastroenterology Association put a number on it, $140 billion health economic burden in the United States annually. 80 million people every year suffer from these gut health issues. So people are not alone in this sort of management of gut health. It's really bringing some of these more modern technologies to the forefront so that we can begin to start to manage some of these things.
Well, and I'm just, I'm thinking my father passed away of stomach cancer years ago, and I'm thinking about, how we don't know a lot, because people, especially when he was growing up, was like eat and drink anything, and he did all these things, and there weren't things like this to maybe help his gut health. And do you see any linking between severe disease and this issue?
Well, we're so much more informed today, which is nice, because there is information available on what foods can do to the gut microbiome, what foods can do to yourself, and how those play together. Certainly there's ways to begin to create better balanced diets, and that might help us.
Can you give us some tips? I'm very interested.
Yeah. So one of the organisms of the gut, it's called Faecalibacterium prausnitzii. It releases a lot of
Did you get that? Write that
down. It releases a lot of really healthy molecules like short-chain fatty acids, butyrate. These things create a really nice intestinal lining tract. When you have high levels of that, then you're resilient. And the way to build high levels of that is eat vegetables, eat diversified fibers, and feed it polyphenols, these things that you hear about through nuts and legumes and other things. But it's really important, not because we're trying to feed ourselves, but because we're trying to feed these microbes that are essential for our health.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like that, because that's putting another spin on how I think about it. I mean, I think that's a very important thing, and there is so much going on in there that I don't pay attention to that. So I need to study it a little bit more. So where can everyone find you and maybe buy this test, or what are some other things that people can do?
Well, you can, all types of management of your health, including hydration, management of your diet, but then taking a dietary supplement should be a part of that, right? And understanding what your gut microbiome.
And you sell the actual probiotics, right? That once And it's a special formula based on what you determine from the test. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's a single pill. We compound everything together, so you don't have to take 15 pills in a day or something like that. If you need prebiotics, probiotics, botanicals, it's all in a single capsule.
Oh.
And that's the advantage of a precision.
Just one time a day?
Yeah, exactly. In the morning, right before you drink or eat food.
Okay, I'm your next client. Sign me up. Thank you so much for being here, Sunny. I appreciate you so much. Sunny Jain of Sun Genomics, and you can find him at Floré.com, Flore.com,
That's right.
right? Take the test, get some probiotics, and fix your gut health, because I'm going to do it. That's for sure. And everyone at home, stick around. We've got more America Trends right after this quick break, and you can find us on America Trends TV on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.